Howdy Scrubs, and welcome back to Men of War Assault Squad 2. Some of you, and I guess actually most of you if you're watching this video, are probably a fan of my Men of War Assault Squad 2 videos, or my Men of War videos in general, basically. And some of you will probably recognize this map, which I don't know even why I started to. I just think I like the scenery or whatever. This is the Spring 1v1 map, and what I used to do before was I actually went through every faction in GSM and like bought every unit and looked at it and I guess told some often like mistaken historical facts, but sometimes they were actual like real facts. You know, and I showed you the units and like how to like look up close and everything. And today I'm gonna do that for the Valor mod. Now relax, I'm not going to go through the entire country list. The actually only countries, actually to me, well, it is basically GSM, but it adds some stuff. To me, like I'm not going to like redo every country. I'm only going to do China and Finland. With today Finland, and then I'll show some gameplay of the Valor mod. There's actually a couple of skirmish missions in Valor mod that I can play, and if I've done like one or two of those, I'll show you the Chinese. And then I'll probably play some more skirmishes. So it's like, you know, showcase, gameplay, showcase, gameplay kind of idea anyway. That's what I have in my mind. Let's hope it actually works out. Now this works a little bit differently because I really wanted to show Finland in 1939 because I'm like with the emphasis on trying to make a little editor battle where I defend as the Finnish against a like Russian invasion, you know, in 1939 as like a Russian aggression, you know, like the Winter War, obviously. But that's going a little bit slow because I'm a new editor and I keep fucking it up. So I decided, screw it. I'll just make a video on Finland today. It's cold outside. It's the 1st of December. I have a cup of warm, hot coffee over here. Hopefully, I'm not sure if you can make a little bit of an ASMR video here. Like, shout out to ASMR. Sorry about that. I just figured I'd make a video on Finland. I don't know why. It's cold outside, it's dark, it's gloomy, it's rainy. And I kind of figured, you know, if I make a video now on a showcase, I can get you guys kind of hyped on, you know, the mod. And I'll show some gameplay, which most of them will actually be defensive maps, which I guess a lot of people want to see. And hopefully sometime soon I can show you a Finnish defense against the Russians in 1939. Anyway, obviously, the Finnish arsenal changes in the years, and I think the latest you can get them is like 1944 or 43. But we're not going to talk about that right now. We're going to look at Finland in 1939. And as always, I'm just going to start off with the infantry and then work my way down the list until I end here to T28. And be like, what? Sherman? T28? Finland? Yes, we'll get to that soon. Anyway, we're going to start off with a submachine gun squad for the Finnish. Of course, their camo does not, you know, match the terrain. The Finnish actually only in this game only have white or gray camo. Although to be fair, I don't think you can really call it camo. It's probably like their nation's like camouflage scheme, because back in World War II, nobody really used camo besides the Waffen-SS, I think, and even they were using it like experimentally. So I'm just gonna assume that the Finns actually didn't have a summer thing, even though they did fight in a little bit more green areas, I assume. But this is the only camo scheme, or like the only color scheme they have. And the SMG squad, some machine gun squad, or I guess some machine gunners, mainly come. Oh, God damn it, I'm still online on Steam. My bad. Sorry about that. Actually, interesting thing, as long as at least I can remember from my previous videos, the Suomi KP 31, which is, I don't know why I said it in German. I just don't know how to say it in Finnish. Sorry. I was like, guys, why does this gun look so much like the PPSH? Because I can remember that some of the earlier Russian units in GSM used this machine gun, or a machine gun that looks like this. And apparently the Finnish came up with the design, and the Russians saw this in the Winter War and they stole it. I hope I'm saying that correctly, because that's what I can remember from those videos. The SMG squad, you know, it's the same letters, but different order. SMG squad obviously comes with a lot of SMGs. They come with 5 of those amazing Suomi KP 31s, which are just literally, in my, I think, PPSH 41s, but they just look differently. Actually, they come at 6. I didn't even notice the 6 guy. And then they have 4 riflemen to back them up. And the 4 riflemen are actually carrying sandbags like GSM. And they have the M27, which, God, I should probably read up on this before I do these videos. Then again, I'm not sure. This looks a lot like a carabiner, but it also could be like a Czechoslovakian gun. So, you know, if you have any idea in the comment section, please let me know. Because it's not, I don't make these videos just to make a video, but I also like to make these videos because whenever I have something totally wrong or I don't know something, I could just be like, yo guys, explain this to me. And then I get like 20 people in the comment section who will like not even copy it from Wikipedia, but just like write an entire story about a specific gun. And between you and me, I really appreciate that, and I really enjoy seeing those messages because I actually learned something from them. And then hopefully in the next video, if I ever manage to play as the Finns in an editor battle, I can actually not say it wrong. Anyway, let's move up to the rifle squad, which, you know, according to the name, probably has a little bit more rifles than it has SMGs, and also has a machine gun usually, which I see one right there. There's a DP-27 Russian machine gun. We have one, and I think there's another guy right here. There's 2. Oh, that's not the guy. And of course, the squad leader with the weird-ass kind of hat on. So we have 3 SMGs, 1 machine gunner, and we have 6 riflemen with the M27. It's interesting. I'm guessing they either, like, stole this gun from Russians, or the Russians exported it to the Finns before the war, or maybe it's even just like a thing the creator of the mod did to give them a machine gun. I have no idea, obviously, because I'm a noob. Moving on to the Jägers. I'm gonna assume that means something like Queen or King's Jägers. Probably means something totally different. One thing I immediately noticed is that these kind of machine guns look a little bit like BARs. Their machine guns are called Lati Saloranta. That sounds very Italian. Although Lathi, the first word, also looks very Finnish to me. So again, I have no idea. I'm not really a big Finland, I don't want to say lover, but I don't know much about Finland besides the fact that they were fucking badasses in World War II. At least in their fight against the Russians, they were fucking badass. Especially Simon Haja, the sniper with the most confirmed kills ever. I think he has what, 500 confirmed rifle kills and then 200 plus SMG kills. Anyway, this Jäger, which I'm still gonna assume are King's Jäger or King's Hunter. Well, King's Jäger, I think. I have no clue. I'm sorry, I don't speak Finnish at all. I feel kind of bad about that. Come in 3 machine gunners, 2 rifles, and 5 SMGs, which is a pretty good number. And I actually have 27 AP grenades, and this looks like a black ice lolly, like a black popsicle. But these are probably AT grenades. Let's see. Yes, because the number went down. Those are interestingly weird. Okay, let's move up to the next squad. We have the Stormtroopers. At least I can read that. And these guys look a lot like German Panzergrenadiere. They actually have a, well, I don't want to say bulletproof, but a bullet resistant. I guess that's the correct word. I don't know how to call it here. Body armor, I guess. They have body armor, which is pretty fucking heavy, by the way, 12 kilograms. Body armor on, and I think they're just the Panzergrenadier models that he just reused for the Finns. With M27s, we have 2 guys with M27s. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 guys with an SMG. That's a really heavy assault squad. And then we have 3 guys with rifles, 1 guy with an MG, and 6 with assault rifle or SMGs. Then they also have all the body armor and a hell of a lot of AP grenades. These guys are perfect for storming a position. TNT. They have 2 TNT, TNT, AP grenades, AT grenades. These guys are basically armed with German stuff, according to their the PWMs. They have these special M39 AP grenades that the Panzergrenadier use. So I guess they're a very good, how do you say, fortified position assault squad. I'm going to just not really show these miners because they're literally just going to be riflemen, but they'll carry mines, so I'm not really going to pay attention to them. Let's skip them away. We have the sappers, which is the same story, but these guys obviously come with a mine detector. so I'm not going to look at those guys anymore. So we got the first tab done. Now we can just look at the guys single-handedly. I guess I probably should have done this the other way around, because in GSM it works from single units to multiple units to a squad. But that's kind of awkward, I guess, but I guess it works. They use the British anti-tank rifle. This is the same machine gun, the same rifle, same SMG, so now we're going to look at this. Tank crew. Oh, this could be interesting, actually. They both come with a SMG instead of pistols. Of course. Oh, these are actually different. Somi KP31. What's the... Besides the ammo, there doesn't seem to be a real difference between... That one, KP31, is also KP31. So I have no idea why they have less ammo. Probably just to, like, make them, I guess, balanced with the other nation's tank crew. But interesting to see that they actually have SMGs here. Then we have stormtroopers, which are obviously the same guys, but you know, you get like 2 of them. It's a new thing that everybody in multiplayer likes to do in vanilla multiplayer, which I think is stupid. And then again, I'm going to complain about it. The flamethrower, if you have like ever watched my GSM videos, you know I immediately skip these guys because they all use the exact same stuff. So there's no point in me even looking at them. And the officer, which in GSM comes with a car, and here just comes with the binoculars and a Parabellum Luger, which is a cool looking pistol, I'll be honest. Just fire that and have him reload and have him go back. So we have the infantry done. Let's look at the Volvos. Volvo is a Swedish brand, so I'm not sure why I guess the Finns would have Volvos over Mercedes or Opels, because Volvo obviously is closer to them. I like the little, like, you can just see they're not entirely like the Opel Blitzes, but they have they look a lot like them. Let's see, we have a normal infantry one, a engineer one, and I guess a vehicle one. If I'm correct. Heavy, yeah, okay, that's correct. Let's move them away again. I mean, that's, you know, that's all really quick. Now we have some machine guns and artillery. I'm just gonna call some of these in. The Maxim, obviously, is the Russian MG, so there's not much to look at. I mean, I'll just take a... It's very... I think it's like a World War I machine gun. I'm not really a big fan of these. I guess this one actually fires pretty rapidly. Some of these fire really slow, and I really dislike those, but at least this is actually manageable by one guy. It looks as if he's gonna, like, you know, do the garden, but then he turns around and actually turns into a machine gun. It's kind of scary. This is a really interesting thing. It's a 20mm anti-tank rifle, which he actually is like set up on like kind of like skis. If you can look right here, like set up on like skis a little bit, and its traverse is like, very limited. I think it's actually like, hang on, I think it's almost impossible to actually change this thing. So you're literally forced to shoot at one point, and you can't really change the arc unless you actually like get up, turn the gun. So this is a very bad gun, you know, if a vehicle even comes towards you. So I should probably not use those in my editor battle, because that just means that whenever a vehicle even moves like half an inch out of his field of view, he cannot even fire at them. Like, I mean, like, out of his, like, field of fire, not field of view, because they can probably see more than the gun can shoot at. Moving on to the Maxim M32-33, which I guess is an upgraded version of the Maxim machine gun. Comes with 2 people. Fires a hell of a lot quicker. I should probably use a couple of these in my defense, because these actually do look really cool. I like their design, like, with the water coolant barrel. I think there's a water coolant barrels. And it fires really rapidly, listen. And look at that, that's pretty amazing. I should remember those for when I do my editor battles. Move them out of there. 37mm AT Bofors. Now we're gonna take a look at these. They're just a 37mm gun that, you know, the British have. And in my GSM videos, I had to rule if like, for example, I looked at Romania or Hungary. Hungary, for example, has a Tiger. And I looked at Hungary before I looked at Germany. So I said, you know what? I'm just gonna call this unit in and drive it right away, because I'm not going to look at a unit like if it belongs to another nation. So, I mean, this is not GSM, and I'm not going to, like, redo all the nations in this mod, so, like, don't worry about that. But I don't really, like, want to pay attention to a gun that's actually, like, almost, like I've already done. And I think it's in vanilla. Is it in vanilla? I don't think it is actually, I don't know. I think the smallest is the 57. No, I'm unsure right now. Anyway, moving on to the 47mm Valor. I think it's Valor cannon. Seems to be like a medium AT gun. According, that's definitely the light AT gun. Just like a medium AT gun, 47mm gun isn't actually that terrible. I mean, it just looks very weird. It just looks like the shield, like there should be a shield here. There's just no shield for it, which kind of makes it look a bit like a very old cannon. But I mean, at least you can get sandbags for it if you wanted to. Moving on to the Flak 38. Like I said, everybody should know what this is. You know, I'm not really going to pay attention to it. It does come with a Tracker 220 with the Russian DT-29 machine gun in the hull. Always liked this one because you have like people on it. It always like reminded me of like a moon landing thing. Like with the little, I don't know, like astronauts will like sit on the side here. Hang on, I'll put some of there on there. I always just thought it looked very weird. Like I always imagined these guys were like astronauts, like on like a space, like a vehicle going to space. I don't know. I would really like want to sit on like such an open thing. Moving on to the last artillery thing is the 76mm M1902-30, which is a divisional gun, and it just looks like a World War I gun, or maybe even pre-war, but definitely at least World War I. The textures are very high quality in this thing, though. 76mm gun, obviously going to be very, very effective. Holy shit, that's a slow turn speed. This is a very old gun, but I assume, though, that when this gun... Oh, there we go, now it goes up and down very quickly. I assume that when the gun is very powerful, because it's a 76mm gun, it's definitely a longer barrel gun. It's not like a very short, stubby 76mm gun. So I can definitely see this is their heavy AT gun. This is definitely something I'm going to have to use in my defense. A couple of them would be pretty interesting. The crew actually is very well protected from the front, unless, you know, some of these other ones, like for example this one, the crew can be definitely can be shot at, and the same goes for the Flak 38, and especially these things. But this is actually very well protected, so that's actually good to see, especially if you consider this freaking AT gun. Holy shit, this is like unprotected as fuck, which is kind of stupid. Moving on, we have the KRH mortar. It's a 120mm mortar. No idea what KRH stands for. If it was German, I could make up an idea, but it's not German, so I literally have no idea what KRH means. I'll fire another round, see what the impact does. Actually, that does a lot. If there was infantry anywhere here, they would at least get knocked down. Not like killed right away, but the shrapnel would definitely knock them down. Moving on to the 76mm. I think this is the same gun. Yeah, I've definitely seen this one. This is like a Polish gun. At least I know the Polish use this in GSM. Again, I like the way even like the guy like looks through the little like gap there. It's just kind of an awkward design. I don't understand, like, why would you make the plate this way? If someone could actually tell me, so well, I'll take a sip of my coffee. Hang on 1 second. Like, why would you waste the resources on making a shield? Like, you actually have to have a factory that makes the steel hot enough for you to bend it that way, whereas you could just have a straight shield, which would make way more sense. I mean, you're not going to like really bounce off bullets. I mean, it's going to happen with a straight shield too, right? So, I mean, I don't really understand why you would really need such a like almost like spiral, how do you say that? Like an S-shaped design almost. If you look at it from the side, like if you were to look at it a 90 degree to the left, you could definitely see what I mean. It's just kind of weird to have such a shield on there. Moving on, we have, where were we? Hang on. The 120mm howitzer M1910. I guess we are moving into World War I territory now for sure. Again, this is a straight shield. It just makes so much more sense to me. 122mm howitzer. It's going to destroy shit when it hits it. So let's not, there's no point in showing it really, because I think I've showed it in GSM. Moving on, this is a Schwere Feldhowitzer. Schwere Feldhowitzer. Sorry. It's trying to do like 3 languages through each other. This doesn't really need a shield because this isn't supposed to be in direct line of sight of the enemy at all. This is supposed to like sit behind and fire away at the enemies. I'm not sure if they actually used these in Finland in 1939. It could be that the creators wanted to give them a gun to at least be competitive if people wanted to play multiplayer. And last but not least, the 150mm M1909-30 gun, which this gun I've definitely seen with the Polish. And there's no really point in showing it. It's a 150mm gun. What do you want me to say about it? It's gonna destroy shit. Moving on to the B820. This is obviously a Russian vehicle. However, the Finns used a lot of Russian vehicles, and the swastika, which isn't a German swastika, it's a Finnish swastika, they like to paint that pretty big on these vehicles, so troops would know, you know, which side this vehicle was on. Obviously, this one is on the Finnish side. I have no idea why they use the swastika. I know it's not actually a swastika. This is called, oh god, it might actually be called a swastika. It's not the angled swastika that the Nazis used, though. It's definitely different from theirs, especially because I don't think Germans did anything with the swastika on their vehicles, right? They only used the Balkenkreuz. And I don't think maybe except for Waffen-SS units or particular vehicles, but usually on tanks you'd see the Balkenkreuz, you know, like the plus sign, like the black and white plus sign. I never see the swastika on there. Anyway, it's armed with a like DT-29 a turret. It's just a very lightly armored car. Literally, it's a car with armor. The FT-17, this is a French tank. Now we're going to take a look at it. You know, I've already looked at it in GSM. If you want to see a little bit more detailed view of most of these vehicles, then make sure to check out my GSM videos for their, you know, respective nations. Because here the Vickers and the Vickers 37 are also two vehicles. Wait, did it just get that? Oh yeah, the Vickers and the Vickers 37 are also two vehicles I will obviously have taken a look at in the British video. Or maybe the Polish video. I'm not sure if these are actually using the British Army. Maybe they're using the Polish Army. Wait, what does that actually has a cannon? That looks like a freaking machine gun tank. Oh, look, it has a cannon. Oh, that's actually really weird. Alright, well, anyway, let's move these out of the way. And then, last but not least, is probably one of my most favorite units. It's a T-28. And, again, the swastikas are going to be on here. I'm just calling them swastikas. It might be something else. I know Buddha people use them, like Buddhists. That's the word, I think. Sorry, I'm not English. I'm just a Dutch plebe. But they also would capture these from the Russians, and then they paint their things on them. And I don't know how, and big respect to them, but they actually actually knew how to like control and use these T-28s in their own, you know, to their own favor, to their own, you know, war efforts. So I hope you guys enjoyed. This is going to be a very quick video, and I knew that from the beginning. However, it's just kind of a teaser for the Valor mod. Link will be in the description, as always. And like I said, I do plan to make a video with the Finns defending against the Russians, and to play some defensive videos or missions in the very near future. So I hope you enjoyed. Don't forget to stay awesome, and I guess I'll see you in the next one. Cheers!
This love that you never started, you once destroyed a broken heart that was already shattered. Holding on to what we have, you take us to the edge and back.